Hello. Welcome to the Detroit Experience.
Hello everyone. Detroit Become Human posits a well-worn future, when androids have become so lifelike and so deeply integrated into human society that necessarily it is only a matter of time and circumstance until they achieve consensus. There is not much time spent examining how that might be possible. Detroit is primarily focused on androids' experience during the process of their awakening, and they are shocked when looking at humanity with eyes unloaded for the first time. Ultimately, it is upon you to decide how they react in the face of adversity. I want you to leave Elias alone. There is a gameplay light experience broken up into dozens of chapters with hundreds of decisions to make during constant and explorative sections, pivotal moments. Gone Every can lead some characters to premature death, but even small deviation can have a lasting impact. Many of the decisions may seem mundane at first, but however benign a choice may seem, they add up and gradually draw you into each character's individual experience. Detroit is purposefully designed in disorderly fashion, leaving you with many cliffhangers throughout the game as it cycles from one character's perspective to the next. At the end of every 10 to 20 minutes chapter, the main characters, Karen, Nora, and Marcus, each bring something different to the table, and that variety answers you are never bored and almost always surprised by what happens next. Kara, a housekeeper android belonging to an abusive drug addled single father, becomes a guardian on the run, protecting Eliza, little girl. She watches over the fact that danger for Kara also means danger for a young child, significantly raises the stakes. You strive to protect them from the worst examples of humanity going astray, and so it's easy to identify the right choices to ensure their safety. Getaways are often messy. By compromission, Connor's chapters are more personal and inquisitive. He assists a worn-out detective named Hank, who loses his presence due to a deep-seated prejudice, and the two must work together to solve a series of murders tied to rogue androids, where Kara's owner is one not and unbelievably harsh Hank can be swayed to trust you over time and overcome his cynicism. It is not always easy to know what will convince him of your words, but Hank knows better than to listen to someone who only tells him what to want to hear. Somewhat siren, you call it a blue blood. It is the flight the powers androids bio-components. It warms after a few hours and becomes invisible to the naked eye, but you can still see it. Cannot you correct? Hank and Connor will regularly investigate crime scenes together, where you are required to analyze your environment, gather clues, and recreate events by interpolating evidence. Not every crime scene tells a complete story, but the process of investigation is constantly engaging. Connor's allegiance to humans and his first-hand experience is dealing with Hank's blunt hatred give you a chance to better understand both sides of Detroit's employee society. If there is one android in Detroit who deserves his own story to be blown up and given more screen time, it is Connor. The most beautiful character of a lot is Marcus, and while he is involved with some of Detroit's most creative scenes, he is remarkable, lacking in nuance at the start. He has the most fortunate existence. His owner is a kind elderly painter who encourages free thought and treats Marcus as though he was his own son. Meanwhile, the painter's actual son is a complete jerk who runs the risk of running his father and Marcus' well-being. This inevitably comes to pass, and it is from here that Detroit's big picture plot kicks off. The fight for android equality. Who are you? Figured fugitives just like you. To decision is a valid one to have given the context at hand, but the way that the social disparity between humans and androids is conveyed in Detroit is such an on-the-nose series of references to the American Civil Rights Movement that it's hard not to be taken aback. Androids are forced into the back of buses, subjected from some public areas and private establishments, and made to use the stairs instead of escalators. For some reason, on who Marcus relies other rebellious androids, and you get to pick their protest slogan. You can actually given the option to choose "We have a dream." These references are distracting. And at a point does it feel justified to lift from the history of actual people who have suffered and continued to suffer in the real world. I came to Jericho because his androids are free to live in the dark, hoping that no one finds you free to die in silence. Waiting for a change, it's never gonna come. These moments of unforgettable, lame, but it's a testament to the story strange else ever that they don't completely drag the experience down. As a whole, yes, I have again Jack Detroit excels at presenting dire situation. Danger seems to lurk around every corner, and because you are expected to react quickly under stress, you cannot help but feel anxious when either Kara or Marcus are at risk of being discovered by humans after. Going rogue, sometimes one misstep is all it takes to append an otherwise peaceful chapter, and you don't want to feel responsible for triggering a chaotic turn of events. Detroit would not be so effective at bringing you into its world if not for its overall stellar presentation. Some NPCs and secondary characters to stand out due to below average production values, but it's only because most characters and scenes are so beautifully rendered. Even if Detroit stumbles on a semi-regular basis, it is almost always captivating to behold at the end of each chapter as well. As in the pause menu, Detroit presents you with an explicit breakdown of the choices you have made. This is positioned as a future, one that allows you to reflect on your actions and, if you so choose, to immediately go back and make different decisions. But in effect, this feedback methodology is ultimately detrimental, destroying your immersion by reminding you of the game you are playing and reducing your influence to a point score that can be traded in for unlockable character models and documentaries. There is no way to disable these flowcharts, and I really wish there was. These unavoidable flowcharts, like the blatant and cheap appropriation of American history, dragged down Detroit's otherwise gripping tale. Despite being built for multiplayer playthrough, it's difficult to imagine jumping back into fixed mistakes or exhaust every possible outcome for the sake of completion. ICM, things did not always go to the way I wanted, but that was a burden I chose to bear, and the story benefit from my commitment. Detroit has the makings of a truly memorable game. Thanks for watching.